And now it's time for our main event. Sammy Miller out of Las Vegas, Nevada will take on Albuquerque's own Steve Hindy. This bout will be 4 rounds in the lightweight division. The battle of the undefeated. Steve Hindy, with 1 win in his only pro fight, will take on Sammy Miller, who has a record of 3-0 with 2 knockouts.
Ladies and gentlemen, the officials assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for the next bout of the evening, the judges are Paul Smith, Bill Villegia, and Al Lefkowitz. Once again, your referee is Carlos Padilla. The next bout of the night featuring 4 rounds of boxing in the lightweight division. Introducing, in the red corner, fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, weighing in at 136 pounds. His professional record consists of 1 win, no defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Steve Hindy. And in the blue corner, from Las Vegas, Nevada, weighing 134 pounds. His professional record, 4 wins, no defeats, no draws, with 2 KOs. Here is the undefeated Sammy Miller. 4 rounds of boxing.
So here we go, round 1 of our main event. This bout is scheduled for 4 rounds in the lightweight division. Albuquerque's own Steve Hindy in the white trunks taking on Las Vegas, Nevada's Sammy Miller. This is a battle of undefeated lightweights. Steve Hindy in the white trunks with a record of 1-0, winning his pro debut against Chris Crespin here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That was on the undercard of Paul Gonzalez last fight here in Albuquerque. And his opponent, Sammy Miller, out of Las Vegas, Nevada, has a record of 3-0 with 2 knockouts. Sammy has already fought on ESPN and Univision, so he's had a lot of national exposure. And he'll take on Albuquerque's Steve Hindy in the white trunks. This bout in the lightweight division now, Sammy Miller coming just a pound under the 135 limit, and Steve Hindy just a pound over at the 136 limit, which was allowed for by the contract. Both men are fine boxers. Both men are right-handers. They're orthodox, good boxers, very good amateur experience. Steve Hindy, very celebrated amateur from New Mexico, and now going to give it a shot at the pros. He's up there in age. I think he's around 29 years old, so they're going to try to get him moving quickly now. He's going to have to hurry up and get things going. There's no panic, but 29 is a little bit late to start a pro boxing career. Of course, Steve Hindy has great talent, and he wants to give it a shot and see what he can do. Sammy Miller has been very impressive in his first 3 pro bouts, and they're looking for him to really climb up the lightweight ladder as well. It's interesting that these 2 men would be matched at this stage of their careers, because these are both fine boxers, and they've both got tough opponents in this bout. So this is a real treat to see these 2 fine boxers at this early in their career get up there and face each other. You see both men very busy now. They're both stylish boxers. They're not brawlers. These men are both really what you would have to consider as boxers. So you're going to see a real professional boxing match here. And for the pure boxing fan, you'll really enjoy this one. Sammy Miller has a record of 4-0 with 2 knockouts. Okay. So he's got a record of 4-0 here. 4 professional. Oh, there's a good left hand and a right by Steve Hindy coming inside. So Sammy Miller with the edging experience as a professional, 4-1. Both men undefeated here. And that ends the first round, a very even round. maybe a slight edge for Hindi. So here we go now with the second round of our main event. Steve Hindi in the white trunks taking on Las Vegas, Nevada's Sammy Miller in the red. A lot of jabbing going on. Oh, and another good left hand from Hindi. Steve looks pretty quick tonight. Miller now trying his jab. So far, Hindi has been the one to connect with the more solid punches. But Sammy Miller is very quick. Again, Hindi with a good hook. Miller answers back. These men very evenly matched. Sweeping right hand from Hindi. You can see both men like to stay outside and box. They don't like to get inside and do much infighting or brawling if they can help it. Of course, we know that our Steve Hindi from here in Albuquerque is equipped to go whatever way his opponent wants to go. He can do it. If you want to get rough with him, he can get rough right back. You see the referee is Carlos Padilla, one of the finest referees in boxing today. He's refereed many a world championship bout, and you see him on television all the time in the big fights. Many of the big fights, I believe Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran, I think Padilla refed one of their matches. There you see them both shooting out jabs. Again, Hindi's maybe landing just a little bit sharper, a little bit cleaner. Miller looks like you can just see him thinking in the ring, like he's trying to figure out Hindi, trying to find a way to get to him. If you want to write to us here on the 8 Count Boxing Hour, there you see our address. Drop us a line. Just if you want to ask a question or have something to say about the show, send it to P.O. Box 91801. Rounds have been very close. This match, just as advertised, very even. You got to give the matchmaker a lot of credit here. Whoever put this one together. So we go to the third round now. This bout is half over. Sammy Miller in the red trunks taking on Steve Hindi in the white trunks. Just to recap our earlier fights on this show, we opened up with Lloyd Vaughn being knocked out by Kenny Ellis of Las Vegas, Nevada. That was a welterweight bout. Kenny Ellis, very impressive. And then we had Russell Franklin scoring a devastating third-round knockout over Jose the Rifleman Rodriguez in an amateur kickboxing bout. Very good performance by Russell Franklin, another of Albuquerque's fine fighters. He's an amateur kickboxer fighting for the American Kempo Karate Academies, and he's been taught well. Again, Hindi on the attack now, backs Miller into the ropes. Referee Padilla breaks them up. Again, Hindi very effective, feinting in with the right hand and then firing with the left and connecting. Sammy Miller just a step behind. This boxing match is kind of a chess match. Again, a left hand from Hindi. You can see both men really trying to use their technique, trying to outthink each other here. This is a thinking man's boxing match. And one of the raps on Steve Hindi has been his, they've said that he's had trouble switching from the amateur style, which he's been an amateur for so long, and now turning professional where it depends on power a little bit more. But he is progressing. He's coming along just fine, and he's looking really good as a professional. Little by little, that's what these early bouts are about, you know, transition in style, just getting a taste of the pro game, and he's a fine one right now. Stamina should not be a factor in this 4-rounder. Both men are easily can go the 4-round distance with plenty to spare. In fact, I'd say both of these men are about ready to step up to 6-rounders. Again, Hindi just a little bit more aggressive. You see him with his hands up high. And that ends the 3rd round. Into the 4th round now of our main event. This is the 4th and final round. Steve Hindi in the white trunks, Sammy Miller in the red trunks. It's a very close match. This round could be the deciding factor. No knockdowns have been scored in this match so far. I got to give a slight edge to Steve Hindi. Oh, and they come out swinging here. Both men wanting to get a hold of this. They want to take this bout. There you see Miller coming in with a jab, firing lefts and right combinations. You can see how slick Steve Hindi is. Very slick and smooth. You just don't quite catch that. He'll slip a punch and fire back with a body shot or something. He's got a real, just a real slick technique. I don't know how to describe it other than that word slick. He's cute. He's just what you'd call a cutie. His style is a very, it's just really good. He's got a good style. He wouldn't be considered a brawler or a real one-punch knockout artist. Just a fine technician, I guess that's the word I'm looking for. And Sammy Miller, a very good boxer too. He's undefeated at 4-0. He might have thought he had an easy fight here tonight. I think he's found himself a little bit surprised by the abilities of our Steve Hindi from here in Albuquerque. Of course, people in Albuquerque wouldn't be surprised at all because they know plenty about Steve Hindi. Hindi is trained by Albert Gutierrez and Danny Romero of the Hideout Boxing Club. That place is a hotbed of fine boxing. The home of great fighters like Eloy Montaño and our amateur superstar Danny Romero Jr. Just to name a few, but there's plenty more where that came from. They've got a kid named Ilgen, who's just an excellent welterweight, a southpaw. And of course, rugged Steve Barreras, who's a fine boxer. Oh, Hindi stings him with a right hand. Staying aggressive, staying on top of Miller. Steve Hindi. Of course, they are in Las Vegas, and I'm sure that Danny Romero, his trainer-manager, has to be worried about a hometown decision for Sammy Miller. There you see Steve Hindi going to the body with that left hook. Miller firing back with a combination now and backs up. Hindi. Miller slipped out a little bit. Hindi was off balance there. There's a good right hand from Steve Hindi. Miller ties him up. Referee Carlos Padilla breaks them up. And that ends the bout. So there will not be a knockout scored. This one will go to a decision. Both men, you see Sammy Miller raising his hands and Steve Hindi saluting the crowd. A little bit of concern for the corner of Steve Hindi right now, but it was a close match. It can go either way. You can hear the crowd buzzing there. They're talking amongst themselves who they thought won the fight. Boxing, let us know. Let's go up to Chuck Hall for the call.
Judge out, Lefkowitz scores 39, Miller 37, Hindi. Judge Bill Belleggia scores 39, Hindi 37, Miller. And Judge Paul Smith scores 39-37 for the winner by split decision, Steve Hindi.
So Steve Hindi gets the nod in this one, a close split decision. Steve Hindi now goes to a record of 2-0 as a professional. Sammy Miller drops to 4-1, and you may see them in the future. Thanks for joining us, and good